Okay, so another day and a different noise coming in. I'm going to open the door. Well, there is work going on outside. They've cleared all that stuff away that was outside the front door here. But as you can hear, the sounds still go on, even though the work's completed. So they're restarting some other construction right next door, or pretty close. I'm not going to go out to show it, but it just can you hear it? It comes right into the house. This is the front door here. But there seems to be dust flying a little bit there where it's coming from. But I can't stay and and look to see what it actually is. But it's basically doing the same work over and over again, and then creating new work, and then going back and repeating the same, because it's a small dead-end street. There's only a few houses around me, and so this is like 8 years of construction all the time on the street, on a small street, a dead-end street that should actually be very quiet. The patrol cars are not pulling on, they're playing possum. Normally when the sun comes up, you have the patrol cars. But if they're hitting you with negative sound, they don't actually need the patrol cars when you're inside the place. And actually I'm going to close the door, so I'm not going to be looking if cars come onto the road or not, There were heavy trucks on the road, on this road right in front here, an hour ago. But you can't film everything, but it's a continual flow of very negative sounds, very negative traffic, very negative patrolling, intrusive people that are always in your line of sight. And this is where the technology comes in, because it's very advanced, it's very precise, it's very detailed, and it never stops. So these sounds could drive you insane. They literally can. They're mentally disturbing. They destroy brain cells, and they destroy your living conditions, because this goes on not just where you're living, which you'd think that you'd get away with it. This goes on all over the suburb, wherever you go. It's a program that follows you by these watchers. So, you can't get away from it, because these beings are the entire suburb, and they come from the adjoining suburb. So it's many 100,000 people, and then you have the influx of vehicles in numbers that make up a million, because you're dealing with, traffic that passes you by, and just, of course, this traffic doesn't flow and go from point A to point B. It does actually travel around you. So when you're on the street, it's actually travelling continuously around the block that you would be going, just as it continuously is around you where you live, the sound. And it's all geared to affect your brain and your emotions. It's not random and accidental, it is a transhuman program. They studied the sounds, how they affect your brain, how they affect your emotions, and because it has to present itself as a advanced civilized city that has certain rules and operates a certain way, it is using science and sight and sound programs, a virtual reality world, technical virtual reality sight and sound world around you to eradicate the human population gradually, one by one, isolate you. See, so I'm surrounded by this sound, but everyone else is part of the program, so, and they're all disconnected, and yet they're also all connected, so it's kind of, I'm guessing that, as the saying goes, the right hand doesn't always know what the left hand does, but that's like, that could be the case, but that would depend on if you are dealing with the total machine beings, then that wouldn't matter because they just follow directions. They're not going to have any humanity or consider why they have to, make a lot of sound for someone. They know that it's negative, but they wouldn't probably, I don't think they'd question it. See, there's a patrol vehicle there. See how it pulls in and out and does a turn? They do the turns in and out all around you everywhere you go. And they always extend these work programs too. If they say it's going to be a month, they don't have to answer to anything because they just keep going with it. And but all this has been. Anyway, no point in me talking here as though everything's normal and as though it's all reasonable and rational. These are anti-life, anti-human programs put in operation by beings in human form that actually are eliminating the human race or the human population, one by one, slowly. In a way that you can hear but is justified, because you can't tell people, you can't stop these patrollers, you can't stop the vast numbers, you can't stop these work programs that are thinly disguised negative energy directions at human beings, because sound is a negative energy. It's disruptive to the human mind and body. So I live on a construction site, and these are army operatives. They're army personnel doing civilian work programs that are also disguised sight and sound transhuman programs. And you know, the transhuman thing shows me that it's anti-life and anti-human, whereas most people will think that it's to combine with humanity using technology and information to advance humanity. This is a reverse world. This is not the case, and it never was the idea. That's just the deception, and I have to stop here because the noise. But they're different sounds, and it's extremely. It actually is destroying my brain cells as I speak with that sound. See, there's another patrolling car. See how it just pulls backwards and forwards, the same as the other one. They always do that same thing, and you know, they do that same thing. But that's another one, but actually pulled right in front of me there, as you can see. But essentially, it's all they're all part of this program. See how we have the army operative standing there in the orange shirt there? They all wear the same colours because that's like their army uniform, really. It signifies their unity, but they're all part of the same department. But it's not a department. All the departments are all connected. Everything in the city is connected. We live in a one world now, in a way, and a one country. But all the countries are connected too, so it's one world. But it gives the impression that it's separate places, and that there's civil kind of conflicts, I'm told. But you see, really, all the powers that be are all in unison. But that's part of the deception for human beings, I think. Anyway, I better stop. Oh. Close that up. Closing up the door now. Okay, closing that out. And I might put the light on if I can. Did I show that before? I tried to film that, I think it was yesterday, was it? To show that that is a divine demigod representation of an ideal woman. This is just showing the different human type beings, or how, you know, I'm sorry I've got that TV going loud because I'm trying to block out the sound that comes in. But see how it's riding a bull and a horse? That's because the divine demigod androgyne beings are often physically endowed with that of the opposing human. So, you know, you have the two roles in one. You have the two physicalities of the two creative human beings all in one, you know. But it is a lessening of the strongest characteristics. So you have an android being, see? So you have the android being. See how physically powerful there too? That there, riding the horse, riding with the great big huge bull, is that delicate rose there, an idealized version. I used the word, just came to me, version. These are versions or representations of the female physicality, shall we say. But, you know, they're not that. They're not naturally created, and they're not natural creator beings. It's all artificial intelligence and science and laboratory creation. Just as this earth is controlled by these technical machine beings, and the machine beings use machinery to make sound, to create mental and disruptive, anti-life, anti-human sound system on a street. Okay? Oh.